I listened to you talking to the CBD the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
You know, I've got to tell you,
How do I know
no,
that
it was
it's
a good
sharing?
talk, but I don't recognize faces yet.
Yeah.
And I have an eye issue. I see in distance great, but I don't see close up anymore.
I'm
Faces are
sharing-
one to distinguish, and I'm going through some eye stuff. And I've
Team
got
from
2
Teams,
operations
it says
this
streaming
month,
is turned
and
on.
which should be correcting some of that.
You're good.
But it depends on the lighting
Oh,
Sheriff
yeah.
says it's
Yeah.
paused.
in any event. But I'm excited
Great that
about
you were
this.
there, really appreciate that. I know a few of us.
Right there?
It was really nice. So.
Well, I have a question
How do I
about
share the
this,
agenda?
red, white, and
Oh,
blue.
I hit,
I would assume that we as a committee will
So I
be
hit
around,
share
floating
now?
around in that.
I think we're gonna talk about, that's the agenda item, so Carrie is gonna
Okay,
talk about it
'cause I told my wife I was taking her to a picnic.
Ah.
and put her to work.
Well, if you think I have eye problems,
Oh.
she hasn't driven a car for 6 years.
how do
She's
I-
legally blind.
how do I
Wow, so I get to
share
wear
that
this.
screen?
For that specifically, that's what.
Sure, wow. That's great. Well, I have one at home that says I'm in the ukulele club. And I have another one that
Yeah.
says I belong to the Faith
see it
and
now?
Health Organization, which is a Catholic men's group that meets once a month and has excellent speakers. And the first one I went to was Lou Holtz giving a
So
talk.
share-
So, he was
Share a link
incredible.
to
And
document?
halfway through, they took a break and everybody was talking about what parish they went to. And I
Yeah.
said, I go to United Methodist Church. That, huh?
Where's
You're
that
here?
sharing thing at?
Sure.
I didn't see anything that said I couldn't come.
Right, exactly.
But I did enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. I still go to them.
I was in South Carolina when Lou was, South
This is
Carolina.
custom
football
streaming.
coach. And I was a high school principal, so our boosters invited him to speak. But I
Oh.
suspect it might have been a
Here's
different
yours.
topic.
Am I sharing, yeah,
Where
did the microphone go?
Kind of a little shade off color.
Okay, welcome.
And I don't think he cares who he's talking to.
Well, maybe not, but he was definitely off color for our guys. We enjoyed
can you
him.
hear him?
I did a little investigating on Lou. Every
I'm
college.
not sharing this, Laura, properly.
I don't think so.
Hi, Laura, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Fine. Well, every college that Lou
What are you
Holtz
trying to share?
coached at.
I'm trying to, she wants, George says she needs to see that.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're
Okay, so when you go to share, it shows you two screens. You can look for the picture of the one that you want to share.
All right, I think
we're
we're
coming down this way, I suspect.
Yes,
How are you?
Got
Good,
it,
how are you?
thank you.
Yeah, and
It's
then
not
if
good to
you
be in
take
the first
this,
cheer.
or else you just show up last. I don't know.
That would work.
I'll try to be here sooner. Usually I
I
am.
spaced out coming down Gateway.
Thank you.
Instead of taking the first
All right.
roundabout, I
Now-
was spaced out. I went to the second one.
Sausage
You know
bar.
I do it.
Pulling in for lunch?
Yeah, so
Okay, now I gotta,
I take it school's that remotely.
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Really?
Well, at least
I
in
put
Collier,
that
my wife's
in, now I
teaches in
gotta-
Collier. and they-
So I'm
Put
Joe.
it in
Joe,
transcript.
I'm Tamara.
Tamara, my pleasure.
Yeah, nice to meet
I
you.
remember you talking.
We have
last-
quorum.
We
last
have a
meeting.
forum.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good idea.
Should look like
Welcome
high school
aboard.
stuff.
Okay, here we go, guys.
Ready? All right, we're gonna call to order this meeting Tuesday, June 3rd of Parks and Rec Committee at 1:30 PM. We're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And this is on now, okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we could do a roll call, please.
Joe Schofield?
Tamara's on.
Paul Leogrand,
Bill Spargo.
Carrie's joining us today.
Carrie Runyon, Park Supervisor. Ed Moore is absent, and Ken Frida is absent.
Okay. Public comment? Anyone? No one's in the room. Anyone out there? No one online? Nope. Okay. Action log review, if we could pull that up, please. Oh, boy, speaking out eyes. There we go. Oh,
So I updated this last night with all the current stuff. Shouldn't it link right to the,
No, because this has to be sent prior.
oh, I haven't been sending them
Okay.
anywhere. I just updated on that group.
yeah, so
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well.
it's my fault too. So hang on, I could step in because I have not been adhering to the schedule for the agendas in a timely manner. I've missed it, and I thought it was a different time, right? So I think we need to sync up.
Okay,
To
sure.
get me that, so then I can present it to Georgia properly, because it can't just it can't just sync up.
Okay.
She has a PDF and put it in the packet.
Got it.
And then
Okay,
we-
I didn't realize that. My apologies.
So it's a combination there. I'll take onus on that. I apologize. So as far as these items though, let's talk about what's on the list. I think these things are closed out.
Correct, and I did complete all of those on the updated list, which is on the our SharePoint or whatever
Okay.
that is, yes.
We can, because it's on topic, can we talk about those, or even though they're not
To
physically?
bring them up,
We can
yes.
bring them up?
Yes.
Do you know what they are off the top of your head?
Yes, I do. So the new things that I added were, let's see, presentation. The presentation for the skills part, because we talked about it last month.
Yeah.
And we talked about, kind of it was more of a sidebar afterward, is, do you want me to gather that stuff? I think you were gonna ask David Ruth if he had his stuff.
You.
Yeah, and I would try to put it in a similar format as we did for the pavilion, so that then we can all review it and say, yay, tweak it. So I added that on there. And then, let's see. We talked about last month, we were gonna talk about whether we have the meeting in July and August, so I put that on there.
And that made it, so we're gonna talk about that.
And the cane toads, those were the 3 things that I added.
Okay, good. So we're pretty much caught up to date. I definitely, I put a message out to Dave, haven't connected with him yet, so we'll make that work and get.
Are you talking about packets here that Dave had?
Yes, we're talking about packets that Dave had. So there's 2 different packets. Right? The first packet was what he designed and developed for the pavilion that I presented to the board of supervisors.
Okay.
Right, so that's already done.
All right.
The second packet is the skills park improvements, which is what we're talking about now, because the next step for that is to do similarly to what we did for the pavilion, put that together, have a conversation about it, and then present it to the board of supervisors for the next big improvement that we're bringing them. Okay, let's try.
Okay,
We're okay?
yes.
All right.
I'm talking to myself.
Okay,
We're good.
cool. All right, and this is next, financial report?
Yes.
Right? Anyone have any questions on the budget report? I didn't see anything different other than we have the line item for the pool doors in here. That's all done, correct?
The pool doors, this is Gary from Parks and Recreation. The pool doors, the closets are the only items that have not been completed.
Okay.
We're waiting for them to be delivered. They're coming from Canada.
Oh,
When's that tariff going?
you said it, not me.
So that's the only thing they said they should be here towards the end of the week. That's the only thing we're waiting on. The other item that we are using fields and amenities for, the money that's sitting there, we are the restroom at Sherman Soccer Complex, small bathrooms down by the dog park. We're getting them redone. We're getting them cleaned and an epoxy put in the bathrooms. Right now it's concrete floor. And we also will be doing the other restrooms over here, the big concession. restrooms for our playground. We're gonna get them cleaned and reseal the tile. It probably have never been done, so we're gonna try to get it done. The soccer fields are closed right now. They will not reopen until September 7th.
Right. That's all under amenities, the very bottom.
Very
capital
bottom, yes.
project.
Correct.
All right, I don't have any questions. Anyone have anything?
Yeah, I have one question. Is there a specific person at the CDD who handles the landscaping for parks?
For parks,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Who would
Yes,
that
there
be?
is. It's Angelo. He's one of our, he just went into that role probably a couple of weeks ago. He's been here in Parks and, well, he was in Parks and he was in Public Works. He's been probably about over 3 years. He just went into that position. And he takes care of the landscaping for Parks, he takes landscaping for all of Gateway, and he helps us with the lining of the fields.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anything else? All right, let's go to the red, white, and pool.
Red, white, and pool. Okay.
So,
You're gonna have to zoom in a little more, thanks.
so, red, white, and pool, this is Carrie again from Parks and Recreation, is Saturday, June 28th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have many scheduled activities, sidewalk chalk contest again, and I will give some definitions of what it should look like. And when you sign up, you'll be signing up at a table. Be first, second, third places. We'll have pool noodle races inside the pool. They're going to have 3 kids and 1 adult, so we have to have a parent participate this time. You also have to sign up for that. There'll be an arts and crafts table. They're going to have inside at the pool. It'll be in the grassy area. Then we're going to also have cornhole, which will be outside, a couple sets of cornholes people can play. It'll be right outside in the front. We'll have big water slide. We'll have Chuck It Axes, which it's adult and kids. They loved this last year. And we also going to have a DJ. He was there last year, did a great job, and we're having him back this year. So, and then at 12 o'clock, Lee County will come in and give out free ice cream again. In the meantime, you're able to purchase any type of Mexican food from Gina's Tamales, which she normally would be here on Friday mornings at the market. Great food. We also have Loud Italian Pizza, and he was available at our Winterfest. And we also have Chat Time Bubble Tea. And she's actually, the people that own that actually live here in Gateway, and so we'll be running that as well. It's pretty popular on.
What is that?
It's bubble tea.
Bubble tea.
Yes.
It's like cold tea with like tapioca beads in it.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids, this is a big
A
thing.
lot of sugar.
Oh, really?
Very tasty. Yeah, it's really good. Caffeine, sugar, it's everything that you want.
Everything you need.
Yeah.
We have, thanks to our sponsors, we have 4 sponsors this year: Sanibel Captiva Community Bank in Gateway, Gateway Church, Paul Leo Grande, broker, and Integrity Builders. So we got some giveaways. We had some money donations to help offset some of the costs of our events.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It is, and
It's a blast.
it's very
We enjoyed
busy.
it last year, but it looks really nice.
Yeah. So primarily, if you guys can make it, we would like to have you there and have you help us sign up some of these people for some of these events. And that's kind of what we did last year. And then you might have to be a judge on some of the drawings, the chalk drawings.
So what time should we be there?
Well, You could be there like at 9:45.
Okay.
You don't have to get there too early.
Well, I
And-
have the dumbest question in the world to ask.
Yes.
Where is your pool?
Gateway Boulevard. So, it's 11301 Gateway Boulevard.
Okay.
And it's on the right-hand side as you go to Sherman Soccer. You go on here off Griffin at the fountain, you make a right, straight up, and you'll see it on the right-hand
Is it right
side.
near here?
Yeah, we are here. Yeah, it's right up on Gateway Boulevard, on your way to Pelican, the old Pelican back door, I call it.
Oh,
The
okay.
sign is Gateway Commons, it says. right?
Yeah, it says Gateway Commons on the right-hand side.
Uh-huh.
You'll see an open field that has some construction, looks like it's going on over there. It's in that area there.
I'll explore it.
You explore that, and you can always come see me.
Trouble, I've never.
Bill
I've
comes
always heard about
almost
the
every
pool. I
other
have no
day.
idea where.
It's great. It's a great time, great place. When my wife and I moved down here, it's kind of the first thing in Gateway that we found, and we frequent it all the time. We love it. We've met great friends there. It's a nice gathering space.
As I understand, it's a membership
Yes, if
type thing.
you're a Gateway resident,
Yeah.
you can come and show me your driver's license that shows your residence here in Gateway. Or if you don't have that, some people rent. As long as they have a bill, a utility bill that shows their address, they could get a free pass.
So all residents, you don't have to
So all residents can just go in, you don't
Yes.
have to have a
have a
membership.
separate membership, no.
You just need a card. You need to stop by and get your
They'll give you a little card so you can access it
And when do
anytime.
you get that?
just
At the
a card.
You can get it at
At
the
the
pool,
pool.
or you can get it at the main office on Fairway Lakes.
Okay.
Okay?
Awesome. You said the food trucks are going to be by the pond? Down-
Yeah,
in
so
the
it's on the
parking lot?
outside of the pool,
Yeah,
and like they were last year.
like they were, okay.
Yeah, exactly the same place they were last year.
Awesome.
And we wear our shirts.
And I
Ah.
ask you to please wear your new shirts.
Okay.
Okay?
I will promise
Blue is our color.
part of the time. I'm sure it's going to be difficult for me.
I know,
because
I know.
I got two things coming
You
up.
do your best.
So I will say that, yeah, last year was a blast. There's always something to do too. So I think the more of us that can be there, at least for portions of it, will be helpful because even, what was it, the raffle tickets, you always needed help handing out
Yeah.
raffle tickets, right? And we could rotate that table and.
Well, I usually, for that, it's like an information table, but they give out raffle tickets, they sign up for people that want to participate in some of the activities. And obviously, if there's any questions on memberships, I'll have a staff person available for memberships, so they can get a membership.
Carrie, how is this being advertised?
It's right now, it's through social media. It's also on the Gateway website. And then I'll have a couple banners to put at the main entrances in the next 10 days or so.
And they're big banners too. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
drive
you
down
can,
without knowing.
I have notices also at the pool. It's on my little stand-up A-frame, so people see it when they come in. I also mention it to all the parents that bring their kids in.
Yeah, and for those, I know Karen and I have spoken, but how many people were in attendance last year roughly? I mean, we don't take attendance.
Right, well, I try to count the best I can, but it was over 400 people in and out.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it's a party.
it was
Yep.
great. It was a lot of attendance.
Yeah, we had so many activities, but we have activities not only on the inside of the pool, but also on the outside.
We don't axe throw in the pool.
No.
The axe throw is down the road.
And you don't need targets, right? Like us.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I don't need, yeah.
Would you mind if I put that on the Facebook site in Pelican Preserve to advertise it? I doubt many people would.
Joe, let me-
Some may have grandchildren.
You want me to send it to you?
That'd be great. I cannot advertise in Pelican Preserve because our board controls all the communication.
Right.
And the Residents Alliance is the other group, and they are like the right hand of the board too. So getting anything out there about what happens at Gateway is strictly if somebody there has decided to sign up for your website, which most haven't. So I'm going to make a pain in the butt of myself and just put it on.
But Joe, technically, they are part of Gateway. is
Oh,
that
yeah,
right?
they are.
Yeah, so it's,
Yeah, and they're very red hot because they're going to be paying taxes.
They want to know why.
For parks and recreation, so,
It's great for the grandkids. I brought mine last year.
well,
We'll do
that's
it again
what
this
I
year.
keep thinking, you know, we
Great
have
for the
grandkids coming all the time.
Yeah.
We originally had a park for kids. That was an amenity that they had told us they never take amenities away, but that one disappeared very quickly. So I would like to just have permission to put that on the websites that I, or the Facebook sites that I belong to.
I will pass it on to you.
And I'll put it on the websites. I
Okay.
have on the Facebooks. I have two
Great.
of them.
Thank you.
I was thrown off of one.
Okay.
The Pelican for All, I was thrown off of.
All right, well, that's great, it's super exciting. Really looking forward to it. Pavilion presentation, so for those that weren't there, we did present our pavilion concept to the Board of Supervisors. I feel the feedback was pretty positive. I think they did, I had to leave halfway through the meeting unfortunately, but I believe the discussion is the 28-29 year is what they are asking about. So I think it's good. It's a little farther out than I was hoping. But again, it's going to give us the option to continue improvements, right? The new building will be done. Our pool whole area is going to pretty much be complete, and it'll allow us to focus in on it. So perhaps by that time, we could really draw our attention to that. The only thing that is kind of concerning for me is the concept of the park, the skills park. Because how long is that going to be? You know, we're going to be talking about 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know about that, but I think. I believe it went pretty well, and they were receptive to things that we were bringing to them, so that was good.
I took some notes after you left, and
Yeah.
I did bring this back up again. And I think they were saying the pavilion, they were going to have a meeting to discuss it, but they're looking at it for 2026, 2027. I think maybe that was something you gave them.
Well, that's what I presented, but I think the discussion that they had was actually later than that, it's 27, 28, right? Yeah.
I don't think they gave them an actual date, but they did say they were going to try to get that on a discussion sometime. They also talked about the cane toads, but they didn't do much about that.
So this is Tamarazon, and, you know, 27, 28, that's what I was thinking, if we get that package, we could also present that one, like, probably in the fall, especially if we're not gonna have a
In that
July or
same-
August meeting. And then maybe it can get in the 27, 28 timeframe, you know, if those are gonna be our two big things for this year to submit, you know, we'll just do our best to get those two knocked out for our fiscal year. It doesn't work for their budget year, but, you know, if it's early for the next budget, it'll be on the list.
I agree.
Paul, just so I'm up to speed, the pavilion is located where?
So we proposed that the pavilion was gonna be, are you familiar with the pool?
Yes.
Okay, so if you walk down the decline to the waterfront,
Right.
so the back of the pavilion is on the waterfront, so think about it as an amphitheater, so you're sitting on the lawn, looking down at the pavilion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No, I think that makes really good sense. It also gives us an opportunity to explore funding, right? Because we didn't talk much about the funding end of things. We proposed to them, like, we could do A, B, and C. But on top of just, you know, what we have in the budget at that time, I think with projects like this, it would help us to secure and open up participation with the community in different ways regarding funding for the project. Something that I always focus in on, and I mentioned it to them, is the idea of contributing, you know, bricks or stones or even labor at a certain point, right? To come together and have your name on some type of placard or that kind of community involvement is really strong and helps solidify a real good sense of community for families here.
A bench, right?
A bench, right, stuff like that, you know, and to have your name on something that's a permanent structure in the space is really good. So with the 27, 28, you know, feedback, I think it gives us opportunity to really, as we proceed on, once we get an actual approval on it, present these kind of different ideas and concepts to move it along, keep it alive. So I'm excited about it.
So again, just for clarification, this could be used for multifunction.
Yes. So the intent for the pavilion, and for Joe too, the intent really is we could have organized events take place. So let's say just really small, and I know noises and sound is always going to be a consideration, right? But let's just say a wind ensemble from the high school wanted to come, you know, Saturday in the park kind of thing. They have a place that's not, where we don't need to rent a stage on the soccer field and destroy the field. Now they have a designated stage that they can come and do that, or they have a theater group that wants to come, they could do that. Or we could do Saturday morning, you know, get publishers or authors to come and do story time every you know, however often. So it could have that kind of idea of organized events. We were talking about weddings, right? So if they could rent the space and do weddings there. But also during the downtime, it's a big enough stage. I don't know, there's not like a regulatory stage size, but it's a big enough stage where we could store and put out small tables and chairs, and you know, on a regular day, you can come and have lunch, because it is going to be half covered, right? So you can come and sit in the shade and have access to it. There's also the concepts that we presented have walking paths around it. So it's a way to connect from the pool. You could walk down the walking path and actually walk behind the pavilion on the waterfront. So the pavilion is actually brought away from the edge just a little bit. It will allow you to walk behind it, and it's going to be a lighted path that you can just kind of connect.
There's a 20-foot easement that you can't build on.
Yeah, they're right, considering all the easements and everything, but we feel because Dave came up with the concept, and again, him being an architect, he's aware of those kind of restrictions. But yeah, all that is taken into consideration in the drawings.
Yeah. Something you might also want to think of from a different perspective to get more support is Pelican Preserve has a ukulele group that goes around and plays for people.
Oh, that's great.
And it's quite a big group. They also have a theater group
Yep.
that puts on plays, and they also have what they call the Acapellicans, which is a singing group that has sung the national anthem at some of the baseball games.
Oh, that's great.
And has gone around and done some things. So when you're thinking about maybe getting broader support,
Of course.
those little things, little tidbits would pick up some people's ears.
Absolutely. Any theater groups in the area, any music groups, I mean, absolutely, right? This gives us enough time to kind of get the word out and create a buzz. And
I think it's a great idea.
I mean,
We
I'm
also
really
have about
excited.
5 bands that are playing. Some of them are playing professionally around town.
Sure. Sure. It's just, right, it's just another venue, right? And the idea of it being outdoors, it's kind of like an amphitheater feeling. And we could do so much there. We could do our movie nights there. We could get, you know, there's just a tremendous amount. And I was excited when we were discussing the layout because, again, a big consideration is the noise and sound levels. But I think it's appropriately placed, and especially being on a hill, you're projecting anything into the side of the hill. So that's helpful there. But again, those events, we could really control what type of things happen, right?
Is there actually a rendering of this idea?
Yeah, yeah, we have, if you go back, Bill, in the previous, well, even last month's minutes,
Okay.
you'll see the drawings are in there. I could also send them to you.
There was about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a whole presentation to the CDD on amenities and what they were looking at for the future. I mean, the whole board was involved with that. I don't know if that's been shared with you or not, but that's in the records.
Yeah, I think the problem is, like,
people have changed as far as coming in and out of different boards, right?
The
And
CBD's been pretty consistent for the last 5 years.
has been pretty consistent, but I don't think, and we had discussed this last time or the time before, there hasn't been kind of this driving, like, okay, this is what we're gonna focus on, and we're gonna stay on this task, right? We're not good with task management. So we let things kind of slide, we bring ideas, and where they have ideas, they get added to an agenda, they're discussed, but they don't stay alive just because they have too much to revisit. So that's why we're really important, I feel, in our small subcommittees, because we can keep them on task, like, hey, let's talk about the pavilion again, let's make sure that we're all on task with that, and that we're moving that project forward, so.
Is there anyone from the CDD that's kind of focused on Parks and Recreation?
Yep,
Doug?
Doug.
Okay.
I'd say so.
See, I knew that. He always has been.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's not that we don't have an advocate there, I think we have, again, we have good relationship with them, we just owe it to them in the community to keep it top of mind, right, the things that we present. So. Awesome. Well, you want to move on to the meeting discussion?
Yes. Sure.
So it's summertime, we're kind of slowing down, there's not much happening after the red, white, and blue. So the proposal is that we skip out or we stop having meetings in July and August. But this, we all look at the sheet here, this says that we would start back October 7th, we wouldn't start back September.
No. This is, our fiscal year starts October.
Right.
Okay, so this is just talking about the fiscal year, since we're not meeting in
Fiscal year, sorry.
July and August.
Yep, okay.
We have to have this,
2026.
right, we have to have this set for
Right.
October. We would come back September,
Sorry about that. Yep.
yeah, we would come back in September to meet again.
What would the date be?
I'm racing it.
Yeah, you probably beat me because mine,
August and September, we're looking at the 2nd, so it would be,
September 2nd.
that's the day after Labor Day, right?
Correct.
So school would probably be in session.
Oh, yeah. Goes
Oh, yeah, school's in session beginning in August.
Yeah, around 10th or so.
I mean, unless there's discussion to be had, I don't see a reason why we need to meet. And I think, you know, Ed brought it up last time too, there, you know, I don't think there's a reason to meet in July and
So
August.
you guys want to go ahead and motion that? And
Yeah, well, is there any discussion first? Does anyone have anything to say before we make a motion?
Is there a way that we could catch up with each other if there's an emergency that comes up?
So there is, so Karen and George, there's emails. Do you have your email yet?
I have, but I haven't got it hooked up yet.
Okay.
But you cannot email one another.
Correct. You cannot email one another, right? But Carrie and Georgia can say that there is something happening. Do we want to meet, right?
Correct.
We could absolutely say, oh, we feel that this warrants a meeting.
And most likely that'd be carried in.
Yeah.
Started, because
Exactly.
if something happens, we'll.
Right. Yeah, sunshine law, we cannot talk to one, we can't, you know, have a side conversation in those emails, we can't talk to one another directly, all of that, but, yeah,
You can talk to me though.
we could talk to you. So if anything were to happen where we needed to have a session, then we could do that.
We could
That's
set it
not
up if we
concern.
had to, yes,
Right.
correct.
But that being said, I'd like to make a motion then to stop the meetings during the month of July and August. We reconvene, our next meeting would then be 1:30 PM on Tuesday, September 2nd.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Good.
I'm glad I got here for one meeting.
Yeah, I know, right? Right before we take summer break. Okay, is there any public comment? Anyone else online?
I have a comment.
Oh, yes.
We had talked about pickleball, or you had at your
Yes.
last meeting. I'm Joe Schofield. Pickleball came up at the CDD meeting also after you had to leave. And it was an interesting conversation because noise and sound was the issue.
Yes.
And the landscaping fellow that the board has hired for some other project got involved with that also. And Bob Geppert agreed strongly that pickleball can make a lot of noise. We had a huge issue in Pelican Preserve on that, actually quite an in-depth argument about that. We finally did get the pickleball courts moved further away from the people. The comment was the 400 feet or 300 feet that this pickleball court's going to be from the closest homes in Gateway, and is that enough?
Right.
And the landscaping guy pretty much said probably it is. Bob Geppert didn't think it was. There was talk about some artificial sound barriers, which would cost some money. But the landscaping guy did come up and state that there are some very good plantings, trees and shrubs that can be planted, still a cost, but that they would be a natural barrier and perhaps ease the problem and might be an easier thing to present and more aesthetically pleasing for people to consider than building sound barriers. I also did a lot of research on that several years ago. There's also silent balls and rackets. Now, I don't know if somebody thinks they can enforce that, but
And that,
They have been-
that's the issue.
they have been, they've had those around now for several years.
Sure.
But I just wanted to mention that that was part of the CDD meeting,
Yep.
and we didn't have it on our agenda today, and I wanted to make sure you're aware of what they were talking about. So they're interested.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was there for that.
Oh, were you there for that?
So that's good, because I am a sound guy, and I went to school for music education, so it's important to me that everyone enjoys, you know, it is loud, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It's
Well, we
loud.
had one fellow that tried to tell us that the sound went with the ball, and I was trying to figure out what elementary science class
Yeah,
he took.
yeah,
Since he was the president of one of our organizations telling us that.
yeah, hello.
And I'm a sound guy too, I was a drummer, I made as much as I could.
Exactly, there you go. So I think it's good to be aware of, and listen, I think there are solutions that will damper the sound. And I think, like what I was thinking during the meeting is that it would be wise to invest in testing, because there's plenty of testing they can do with actual real life, how much sound it produces, put it in that field where they're expecting to put the courts and really do a deep dive, right? That does it affect and who it affects and so on and so forth. And I know that those tests are expensive, but I think we really need to invest in those, budget it out, because man, if we build these courts and it's wrong, it's just not gonna be a good, it's not gonna be a good thing, right? Because there's no way that we're gonna say, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, let's go and move it now and try to find that one. It's not gonna happen. So I think we definitely need to, and I haven't heard a lot about the investing in sound testing other than, oh, well, we could dampen it and we could do this, that's fine. But there are plenty of organizations that we could really get some data.
Can I just say, in Hampton Park, we have a converted basketball court that has now 3 of the courts for pickleball. And you're right, you can hear it around the neighborhood, but it's right next to the amenity center. And I can tell you, there's not a better spot for pickleball courts than by that pool, because it's well away from a lot of other things.
Yes.
So I think you're right, we need to investigate how to nullify the sound as much as possible, but my feeling is, that's a pretty ideal location.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, I agree. I think it's the best it's gonna get.
And the distances are good in favor of sound mitigation.
So this is Tamara, so, and I was in the meeting as well, and I heard, I know you just said 300 to 400 feet. I heard 300 to 400 yards, because he did
Oh, I'm
say
sorry,
3
yeah.
football fields.
Yards,
Right.
yes.
So,
Thank
I mean,
you.
we're all making you know,
Right,
okay, is it really 3 football fields? I don't, but you're right, following up, because we want the people, the residents to be heard.
yeah.
How far is it really? And I also remember the president, I forget what her name is, but She was saying that there were some, already, that neighborhood that he was in has a line of woods
Right.
set up there. And so, I mean, is that part of the Park and Rec for us to go and to push that? I mean, it was brought up to that group. How do we handle that? What's the right?
So, this is Carrie Runyon, Parks and Recreation. So I know that Chelsea, District Manager, has a meeting set up, not next week, I think in 2 weeks. And we're going to sit down, I guess, and we're meeting with somebody to discuss it further. So
Okay,
I can just keep you abreast of what's going on
Yeah.
and let you know where it's going.
that sounds good.
I will say, with the distance and all that, right, it doesn't matter.
It carries.
Because it all depends on the elevation, on what you have on the ground, on how far, yes, absolutely the distance, what you have in the middle of things, right, where sound is gonna bounce off of, all of that comes into play, and none of it can be answered. I guarantee you, you can't sit in a room and have somebody say, yes, it's gonna be fine, until you do the testing,
Agreed.
right?
Well, one other important factor is the number of courts.
Yes,
And if
absolutely,
they're
all of that,
filled,
right.
if you want to hear pickleball courts being used, there's one down just by Page Field where there
Yes.
must
I'm
be
at that one a couple times.
25 pickleball courts, and when they're full,
It's like fireworks.
I mean, you can't hear the airplane.
Right, yeah, so that's a lot, right? Yeah. So, I'm excited about it, we need to definitely do more than our due diligence to make sure that it's successful, because it can be, I agree. The spot, that's the only place and the best place, but then it comes down to mitigating, and we can do that, we just have to be willing to test and actually invest in whatever it is to make it as comfortable as possible.
Well, I think the community needs to know that we did due diligence.
Yes, absolutely,
It's really important.
100%. Cool.
And I apologize to the transcriber for not mentioning my name every time. I
Me
speak.
too, I'm so
Me
bad
too.
at that. I apologize too, in advance, or at the end. All right, so next meeting agenda, how can we, well, Cameron, I could get you the information, I could definitely email you that packet once I get it from Dave. So do you want to present at that meeting? Would that be appropriate?
At September's
Yeah.
meeting? Sure, I could probably have it ready by then. yeah.
Okay, great, so I'll get you the info, we'll add that to the agenda. I guess we'll debrief on summer activities, including Red, White, and Pool at that time. And then we're also, Carrie, what's coming up in the fall? Do we have any events that are happening?
Well, we also have the Back to School Bash, August 23rd.
Oh, that's gonna be before we meet.
Yeah, so
But are we
that's the
gonna be
23rd, but I'll
involved?
send some stuff out to you guys, no
Okay.
problem. It'll be a very simple back to school thing with kids and families. It's gonna be very similar to Red, White, and Pool. It's probably a little bit small. We have nothing in September, due to the fact that it's usually a very wet month.
Yeah.
So, but I'm working on events for October for next fiscal year.
Yep,
I'm working on that right now.
and then we're really close to Winterfest already.
Yeah, that, you blink, it's gonna be here.
Cool. Anything else, folks? Yep.
Sorry, Tamara's on. We kind of joked and chuckled a couple of times, but was there any more discussion on the cane toads that anybody heard? Do you know of anything through your connections?
No one heard anything.
This is Bill Spargo. I believe the king toads are going to be all squished on the roads.
I've seen a lot of them.
I'm thinking another month.
Yeah.
I counted about 10 on my way over here.
I watched a documentary yesterday, well, kind of halfway, my husband was watching it, how it invaded, a city in Australia. Like, they could not get rid, it was insane. But for our neighborhood, I know my husband goes around and gets them, but he's seen a lot less. I don't know if he happened to get them like right in the breeding time, but we're seeing a lot on the roads too, you're right, smashed. But when I saw that thing in Australia, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's terrible. I don't know what to say on them. It's like, ugh. Carrie, are they putting any bait out to kill them, traps, or they?
The CDD's not doing anything. That's a big,
I just wonder, because someone brought it up at the CDD meeting.
I know.
Like,
We
do
brought
they
it up
follow
here,
up
the
and
CDD
give a
forum.
response, say, we're not doing anything? I mean, I think people bring it up and then nothing happens.
There
Like-
may be a legal issue. Years ago, there was one about the
Yeah.
pigs,
Mm,
hogs
yes.
running
Yeah,
around.
the logs.
And I remember Tony had some little poem that he spit out, which was really quite humorous, but it was something, if you turn your back and don't look, the board should do that. Because
Yeah.
once you start doing something,
Now you're
you're
responsible.
obligated, you're responsible, and there's legal ramifications, and doing nothing is smarter than trying to help. So they said it was back to each community to take care of it.
And, yeah,
it's back at the, yeah, I know it's back at the HOA's community, so.
right. Oh, it definitely is. Like, I'm president of my HOA, we're talking about it constantly, Terry, but it's, as far as the entire community goes, I still feel that there should be some type of notice or information. And that's the thing, right? I understand doing something, now you become liable, right? But it would be nice if our CBD could do some type of info on, right?
Well, I think since they're part of, it's a pond issue, I think there's a technical
Yeah.
line where they can and maybe shouldn't get involved.
It's a shame.
Joe Schofield.
You are the attorney. Yeah.
Yeah, you, says it right there.
That's John Smith.
Anything else, folks? We're done? With that, we get adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You need to make a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
I technically, yes. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
I,
Unanimous.
thanks for the shirt, Carrie.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much, Karen.
I will be wearing it,
Good stuff.
I will
at the
too.
red, white, and
Oh,
cool.
there's one thing though, Karen,
I'm
that
talking about what the Fourth of July shirt, that's like the blue.
Yeah.
Well, it's what this committee can do.
Okay.
Ooh.
Agent, real estate agent?
I just thought you were a music.
I wear many hats, but if you, if they can-
Somebody